Hey there, it's the Yard Buddha, and I just wanted to give you my initial update on my grass reseeding project, growing some turf type tall fescue, and it's been about 10 or 11 days since I put the seed down. And unfortunately, I've just had really cold nights, cold weather. I mean, it's been highs of like 60s, and it's gotten down into the high 30s at night. So this is just taken a lot longer than it probably should have if I maybe started it in June, but I started this in the middle of May here in Spokane, Washington, and so I kind of should have expected it to take longer, but I am starting to see quite a bit of new growth in some of these areas. Of course, my dogs have come by and stepped in some parts, which I may have to just reseed a little bit later. And the hardest part of this so far has just been mowing and trying not to disturb the patches of grass that I had reseeded, just because the other grass is growing really aggressively, especially with that compost that I put down. And so I probably had to mow at least 3 times. In the middle here, I've just taken my weed whacker and I'm trying to just shorten the grass down around these big areas. But I am starting to get, this is a really shady area, so it gets very little sun, so it's taken a lot longer, but it is starting to pop up there a little bit too in here. So I am getting excited and just trying to keep the dogs out, keep other foot traffic out. I've been trying to water, keep things nice and moist. It is going to get up into the 90s here this next week, so I expect a whole lot more growth out of this when it gets into the 90s, and the nights are just going to get down to like 50, 55, so this should enjoy that. So this is where we stand right now. Another shady area, not getting a whole lot of growth out of, so I'm kind of expecting those warm temperatures to pick things up a bit. So I'm going to get out the weed whacker here and try to trim this middle area here down just a little bit, and we'll show you what it looks like a little bit later. Okay, it's been about 3 days since my last video. We're starting to get some nice hot weather, and this stuff is really picking up. It's actually supposed to get into the 90s here tomorrow and the next day, which I'm gonna have to keep up on the watering, but this stuff is really starting to pick up. I can almost hear it growing. Bzzz, it's growing. I can hear it. Yes. So far so good. The rest of my grass is picking up nicely. Everything's kind of falling into place. Again, this does get very much sun back here, so that's going to be the hardest part, and just keeping up the mowing, because everything else is growing like crazy. So we'll check back here in another little bit. All right, so here's my grass, probably about 5 days after we last checked in. We've had some really high temperatures. We got into the mid 90s, so it's just kind of been weird going from 70s directly to 90s, but it definitely enjoyed this warmer temperature. Sorry, I haven't trimmed around some of these areas, and the hardest part again has just been kind of trying to mow around everything and not run over the new seed. But you can see everything is filling in nice and full. I just went light on the starter fertilizer, probably about half as much as it called for, just because I had so much compost in there. Kind of back in my really shady areas, it hasn't picked up as much as it has out here in the areas that get a little more sun, but everything seems to be growing. Even my kind of dog pee areas over here are still some dog pee areas, new ones that I'm going to get to fix every now and then. But yeah, we're happy. So I'll check in here in probably another week or so, just see how full this stuff gets. Okay, this is the second week in June 16th exactly. It's been a month since I put the seed down, and this is what my yard's looking like now. If you have followed me this whole way, I almost completely nuked this entire yard and started anew, and I'm very happy that I've been patient with it. I was thinking about putting a whole bunch of sod down, and instead I just reseeded with some tall fescue, and this is kind of what it's turned out to be. And this is a man versus Poa project. And so just to talk about the Poa, I really have not seen any this year, and I don't want to get my expectations too high because I know there's tons of seeds in there, but right now this is exactly what I wanted to happen. And so the middle of my yard right here was completely 100% Poa, and now that is all nice turf type tall fescue coming out. I'm mowing this at about 3 inches. I mowed a couple days ago, and I know I have some clumps and stuff in here. I got some more dog pee areas that I'll just be filling in with little seed and some more compost here and there throughout the year. But I think this is going to be my final video here, at least for the summer, and maybe we'll check in here at the end of fall and just kind of tell you my total results. But right now, victory? Question mark? I don't know. I'm still a little bit skeptical. It's almost looking too good to be true. So I may end up overseeding this again with some more fescue, tall fescue in the fall, just to make it even that much more thicker. But compared to what my grass looked like back in March, I'll take it. So thank you guys for watching, if you watched all my videos. If not, go check them out, give me a subscribe, and we'll see you later.